Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please. This is City Council meeting, October the 20th, 2016. If you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Russ?
Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to have a little fun every fall at the expense of those souls who have joined you. Halloween is a tradition that has been being celebrated on this earth since before Jesus walked here. It has evolved into a celebration of life by poking fun at the dead. The dentists love it, all those little smiling teeth eating candy. We thank you for this opportunity for families to meet their neighbors. Please keep our children and all of us safe this Halloween. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, I would like to welcome our guests and visitors here tonight, although it's pretty sparse tonight. We do have a special guest, and we have a proclamation that I want to present to the special guest here. It is a proclamation regarding Red Ribbon Week, and we have done this in years past as well, but this is designating October, a week in October, as Red Ribbon Week in the city of Canton. I will read the proclamation and then we'll present it. Whereas communities across America have been plagued by the numerous problems associated with illicit drug use and those that traffic in drugs, and whereas there is hope in winning the war on drugs, and that hope lies in education and drug demand reduction, coupled with the hard work and determination of organizations such as the General Raymond G. Davis Metro Atlanta Young Marines to foster a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. Whereas the red ribbon has been chosen as a symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Camarena, a Drug Enforcement Administration agent who was murdered in the line of duty, and represents the belief that one can make a difference. And whereas the Red Ribbon Campaign was established by Congress in 1988 to encourage a drug-free lifestyle and involvement in drug prevention and reduction efforts, and whereas October the 23rd through the 31st has been designated National Red Ribbon Week, which encourages Americans to wear a red ribbon to show their support for a drug-free environment. Now, therefore, I, Gene Hobgood, Mayor of the City of Canton, do hereby proclaim October the 23rd through the 31st as Red Ribbon Week in Canton, and urge all citizens to join me in this special observance. Okay. Okay. Public announcements. Ms. McGrew, do you have some public announcements?
Thank you. We're nearing the end of our season for Main Street Farmers Market. Next Saturday, of course, will be a beautiful farmers market, but our last Main Street Farmers Market will be October 29th. It's going to be a Halloween blowout. There's going to be a costume parade and a costume for the children. There'll be in-store trick-or-treating. So everybody come down to the farmers market from 9 to 1. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Mr. Goodman?
Yeah. I was just going to say that I attended the Zombie Fest up at uptown again this year, and wow, was it ever packed. Everyone was having a great time, super band. The movies were packed, and they had several different times. Canton just continues to have very good events, and people are aware of it. I've had several people call me and say they really enjoyed it, and nothing's out of hand, and they wanted us to continue it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? For those of you who weren't here earlier this afternoon, we had a ribbon cutting for the new playground equipment here in Brown Park, and I would like to, publicly thank those who have participated in that and who have given monies and efforts, and the staff has worked hard in getting that done and getting it done expeditiously. So I'd like to thank everyone involved in that. Ms. McGrew?
Yes, thank you. You might notice we're more casually dressed this evening. We're wearing our breast cancer awareness T-shirts that were given to us by Mr. Peppers. We want to thank you very much for our shirts and let the city know that we are very much aware of breast cancer prevention and care and cure. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Consideration to approve the agenda. I'd like to amend the agenda initially to include an executive session to discuss personnel, and as well as removing item 11A under city manager's report. Is that
Yeah, we need to remove 11A.
11A, which is
That item's been dealt
they
with.
got that worked out about the sewer tap fee there. So
But I would like to request, and I've placed it at everybody's spot, to add to the agenda the resolution regarding the street lights for Northside Cherokee Boulevard and Northside Parkway.
as a new item,
It would be an old item. We brought it up at the last meeting. Or we can handle it under the city manager's
okay, that
report.
would be item C under old business.
9C.
Yeah, 9C. Street lights, resolution for North Side Cherokee Parkway. Okay. Anything else?
Motion to approve as amended the agenda.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Young seconded that, I believe, already. He was just a little quieter. Mr. Russ made the motion. Mr. Young seconded the motion. Any other discussion? If not, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. So that's 5 of us here. Mr. Grant is not here tonight. He's still on his excursion and trip. Item 6 of the agenda, sorry about that. The minutes, 6A. The minutes are attached. Are there any changes or corrections to be made to the minutes of October the 6th public hearing and October the 6th council meeting? Any corrections or additions to those?
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve? Second. Mr. Young made the motion. Mr. Goodman seconded that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. Do we have any public input, Susan? No. Okay. All right. Under the consent agenda, I will read these items. If anyone wants one removed for further discussion or comments, let me know. Item 8A, approval of the proposed FY 2016 budget amendment regarding salary adjustments due to the compensation study. Item B, approval for the mayor to sign the GFA loan modification documents to extend the completion date of the wastewater treatment plant loan agreement. And item C, approval to award design contract for the Hickory Log Creek Bridge repainting project to Hazen and Sawyer in the amount of $35,000. Does anyone need more information on any of those? We have a motion to approve. And a second. Ms. Wilson made the motion. Mr. Goodman seconded that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. Okay. Ms. McGrew, do you have something else? I just noticed your light. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Under old business, discussion of the proposed IG intergovernmental agreement between the City of Canton and Cherokee County to bill and collect property taxes. Mr. Peppers, you want to expand on that, as we did talk about that, I think, at the last meeting, discussed that.
Yes, sir. Included in your agenda packet is an example of the bill for the city of Ball Ground. You'll note on that bill that the last two items, the first three items are the items that the county bills for. The last two items are specific to Ball Ground, the first being their maintenance and operation line item, and the second being their fire district line item. While we may not go with fire district terminology, we may just say fire services or something like that. We can change the titles on there. But what you'll see is in the fourth column on this particular bill, there is a section for exemptions. And so if we consolidated our tax billing services with the county in that exemption section on those last two items, that's where you would see anybody who qualifies for a senior or disability exemption noted there. And then, of course, they would have one total on their bill. Where we also have a little bit of leeway is in that bottom box where it says, where it's got a notation about if you need to change your mailing address, new resident, age, or whatever, that you can contact the tax assessors. We would have that ability to make some changes as well. But this is a sample of that consolidated bill.
How many parcels do we say we have now?
Roughly 10,000. So
we're talking about $20,000.
$20,000 for them to take over the service.
Okay.
Yes. And one specific item that I will note that is a big benefit of this service is that since the county would be handling the collections, individuals who go into the county tax assessor's office or county tax commissioner's office will be able to file for both the city and the county exemptions for senior exemptions or disabled exemptions. As you know, we've sent our tax bills out, and in the last week we have had some individuals call in who thought that they just naturally got the exemption and were a little frustrated that it had to be filed by April 1st. We had a couple of examples where someone had filed with the county but not filed with the city. That would go away with this consolidation on the tax billing.
Okay. Ms. Wilson?
I just wanted to say that whenever you brought this up, I was a little skeptical because I thought, I don't think we want the county taking over everything, but whenever you put the example for us to look over, this is really much, much more streamlined. It is very easy to read, and I appreciate that, and I think I'm really in favor of moving forward with the intergovernmental agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rust?
Billy, we're going to pay $2 per taxpayer to have this service taken over by the county. Is that right?
$2 per parcel.
Per
correct.
parcel. So it costs 47 cents for a stamp. This sounds like it's cheaper than us doing it ourselves.
Well, I mean, there's savings in there because the county's already billing. And to put everything on one bill, yes, they are making a little bit of money off of it, but they're also staffing the customer service that deals with the issues.
No, I'm just thinking the city alone. I mean, if we had to continue to do this, we would pay more than $2 per parcel to send out these bills.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're saving money.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to move forward. Motion to move forward with the intergovernmental agreement as stated.
I second.
Have a motion. Ms. McGrew made the motion. Ms. Wilson seconded that motion. Any other discussion? If not, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. Okay. Item 9B, discussion and possible action on annual update of the capital improvement element and 5-year short-term work plan for the impact fee program.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, council members, this was discussed at the work session 2 weeks ago. Changes have been made within the sheets that were discussed 2 weeks ago. We are requesting City Council approve a resolution to transmit our annual update through the review process at Atlanta Regional Commission, Georgia Department of Community Affairs.
Any questions, comments regarding that?
Do you want a motion? Motion to approve.
We have a motion, Mr. Rust made the motion, Mr. Goodman seconded that motion to approve. Any other discussion or comments? If not, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. 9C regarding, I'm sorry. Yeah, streetlights. 9C is the one added, the streetlight resolution allowing Northside Hospital to work on city right-of-way for the installation of streetlights on Northside Cherokee Boulevard.
And Northside Parkway.
And Northside Parkway, okay. On Northside Parkway now,
It's the continuation of the streetlights from the IHOP to the intersection.
okay.
And then it's from Canton Marketplace back.
So are they going to go ahead and put those street lights in even though there's nothing there, right? That's what they're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
And they'll continue the design that's on Northside Parkway, and they'll move forward with a different lighting style on Boulevard because it's much broader.
right.
It's a different situation.
So let me get this straight now. The street lights are going to be positioned such that when somebody comes back in there or they do to develop or build that land on the right side of Northside Parkway, there'll be room for sidewalks and everything else there that they have to have.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Do we need we want to go ahead and do, oh, I'm sorry.
Do the lights go all the way to 140?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yeah. We want to go ahead for them to go ahead and get started on that, don't we? So
Yes,
we
sir.
need a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Rust made the motion. Mr. Goodman seconded that motion. Any other discussion? If not, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. Item 10A, I think I've pretty much already discussed about the playground equipment at Brown Park. Several, if not all, of the board members of the Resurgence Foundation, charitable foundation, who did award the city of Canton $30,000 toward the purchase of that playground equipment out there, were on hand for the ribbon cutting. So I would like to publicly thank the Resurgence Charitable Foundation again for their support of that project. Item 11, City Manager's Report. I guess would be item B under that, discussion and action. Are we going to do the report? That's sort of awkward there, isn't it?
Let me tell you what's going on first, if that helps.
Okay.
So, as you recall, earlier in this year, we had approved for the purchase of lighting for the trail from Etowah to Heritage Park to the tune of about $160,000. And that's when we were working on the trail project and trying to get everything done. The individual from the company, the salesperson from the company, is no longer with that company and never put in the order for our lights. Subsequently, those lights were discontinued, and we were going through conversations with the company. And I said, "Hold on, let's have a reset moment here, because since we had that discussion on the lights, council also had the decision to close parks at dusk and open them up at dawn. So we can move forward with the lights, or the company is okay for us not to move forward with the lights, cancel our contract, no penalties, no issues like that. And I would prefer suggesting the council that we not do the lights since we're closing that at dusk. We have the plans. The plans were already drawn up. They were engineered. Everything's done there. So if we want to come back and change park hours at a future date, that would be a great time to go forward with lights and what have you. But we have had several requests lately for events at Etowah River Park, and the original electrical plan for Etowah River Park was not necessarily put in for major events. I think we would be better off to not spend that money on the lights and use it to upgrade our electrical in Etowah River Park and really work on some other things at Etowah River Park for now, and maybe revisit the lights at a later date. And so since the lights were never ordered, we have an easy way to say, okay, we'll just discontinue that project. Park opens at dawn and closes at dusk. That is all parks, dawn to dusk.
Okay. Do we need to kind of vote on that?
I think you should take an action. That way, if the contractor does ask us, we could say, hey, we're not doing this project.
Okay. Mr. Russ, do you have a comment?
Billy, I just had one question. Is there any safety issues at all in not having lights there at night, even though we're closed? I mean, people can actually go in there. There's no gates or anything to block people from going in there.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering from a safety standpoint, let's suppose there's an event, something happens there. Everybody's fishing around in the dark. Meaning something bad happens where somebody gets hurt or something.
So here's what I would say about that. We have the same liability on that trail now that we had on that land when we had an easement for it and didn't have a trail there. People could still walk on it. There wasn't a trail there. There was no lighting there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the liability as much as I am the safety of the residents. And I think there are going to be people that still run there at night. And I guess they're going to have to put a headlight on their head or something, which works.
Well, they shouldn't be there running because the park is closed.
I think the one thing we should do if we're going to do that and not put up lights is make it very clear to people that it's dawn to dusk and have a lot of signs up that clearly
and
says that.
we can add some signage to that. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
Okay, I
definitely
think
need to do
if
that.
we're going to do that, if we vote to not put the lights in, I think we should make sure we put a lot of signs up.
It's just kind of a situation where I would feel bad spending $160-something thousand on lights for a trail that's not supposed to be open to the public to use.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, that's probably right.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
use it someplace else. Thank you.
I believe he said we needed to have a vote on that.
I would take action on it just to
Do we have a motion then to hold off on the lighting at this point?
What would it be called? Canceling the contract? Is that okay?
yes.
I make a motion to cancel that contract, the lighting contract.
Okay. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Russ made the motion. Mr. Young seconded that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. Okay.
I have two other items under my report tonight. The first one is that, as we all know, the wonderful project that is Wooded Mountain Trail, where we have a one-sided development. We've had some issues related to stormwater and things like that. The street just up from that, Morning Breeze Lane, is also a one-sided street, and we have started getting requests for permits to construct houses on that street. I am going to suggest that we place a sign at the front of that street with the definition of what a one-sided street is, per that master plan, so that people who move on that street understand that that street is not going to have curb, it's not going to have guttering, it is simply a street that is paved to act as a wooded trail, and that's what the city intends the street to be. And so as individuals buy homes on that street, they would have seen a notice letting them know what they're buying into.
Yeah. Mr. Rust?
Could we include in the certificate of occupancy a statement that you are buying on this street? Very clearly, the city is putting you on notice. This is what you're going to get, and it's not going to change.
My suggestion is that we have this triggered in our systems so that when somebody comes in to get a permit on that street, we hand them that language. When somebody comes in to get a CO on that street, we hand them that language. And when somebody comes in to apply for a utility on that street, we hand them that language.
I think we need to get something else to make sure that they sign a document saying that they have received that document you're describing. Is that fair? I mean, because somebody say, I never got that. How do you prove it? You know, I mean, and truly, that can be a mistake. People get a lot of paper and they just throw it away. It's important paper in this case.
I think,
So
I
think
don't
they
see
need to
that that would be a
si-
problem for have them sign a document that they
sign-
received it.
That they're aware of exactly what you described.
We can do that.
Thank you.
But I think, I do tend to believe that it needs to be a notice, not just a definition, but a notice that it is what it is, and that the city has no intention at this time, who knows what'll happen in the future, has no intention at this time of making it something that it's not, like a freeway that's comparable to the other streets within the development.
And I think, I think if it's clear to the property owners when they purchase the property and they move in that that's what it is, it makes it very hard for them to come back and ask for more.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then I have one other item tonight. I've asked Mr. Hatabian to come up here and help with it a little bit. As you know, not only the city of Canton, but great parts of our state are moving into drought conditions. We've had very little rain this summer. We are particularly having issues with the water levels in the Etowah River and our ability to treat the water through our intakes and get that sent out to our storage facilities because the public is using this heat as a great time to irrigate their yards and things like that. While we are not yet at a level 2 drought condition, the Metro Atlanta Water Group is looking at that. The state is looking at that, at moving towards bigger restrictions. And so tomorrow we will be sending out a notice through social media, posting on our website, encouraging our residents to conserve water. Our city facilities, we're going to turn our sprinkler systems off so that we're a good citizen as well, and we're conserving that water. Our biggest issue right now is that people are following the rules in that they're watering during the right times of the day, but it's depleting our water capacity in our water tanks, and so we're not being able to catch up as much. We are releasing water from the reservoir to the Etowah River. It's still not making a dent in our ability to get ahead of the game. And so Mr. Hatabian can speak a little bit more to that, but tomorrow we will be asking citizens to voluntarily conserve water usage on their property.
Okay.
I stole his thunder. He has nothing to say.
It'd probably be a good idea to have a press release sent to the media as well.
We will. We'll handle it through social media. And again, it's voluntary, but you know, if people will just narrow the windows that they irrigate, restrict the time that they irrigate, maybe skip a day or two in between irrigation, not just our residents, but our corporate citizens as well. Some of the commercial property owners irrigate very well, and so we need them to take place as well with us.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Do you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay. The only other item is our executive session that we need to move into for personnel discussion. Do I have a motion to go in executive session?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Russ made the motion. Mr. Goodman made the second. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay.
We're not gonna come
We
back.
will not be coming back out for any vote, so